Alright, what is up you guys? I'm here with the Survivor Series pay-per-view DVD collection. There's a lot to get through here, so I'm going to get right into it. We have, first off, Survivor Series 2000 with Stone Cold on the front there. The rules have changed, and this was your first Survivor Series DVD release. And, of course, individual, that is. So we have the spine there. Very cool cover. You have the radar. You had Stone Cold versus Triple H. You had Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker for the WWF title. The Rock versus Rikishi, Chris Jericho, and Kane. And this was, this only had one elimination match. The Hardy Boys and the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian, the Godfather, and Bull Buchanan. So, very nice. Get the insert there. Very nice disc artwork. Alright, next up, we have Survivor Series 2001. Winner Take All, Team WWF versus Team Alliance. This is probably my favorite Survivor Series main event. I love this event. You know, this was finishing off the Alliance storyline. But we had the Immunity Invitational Battle Royal, which was a fun match. You had the six-pack for the women's title. You had the Steel Cage Tag Team match with Hardy Boys and Dudleys. You had Edge versus Test, Christian versus Al Snow. And then your Team WWF, which was The Rock, Chris Jericho, Undertaker, Kane, and Big Show, versus the Alliance, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, RVD, Booker T, and Shane McMahon. You do get a really cool poster insert with, I'll just try to pull it out quick. There's the actual insert. Then there's your poster with Lita and Tori Wilson. I mean, who's not a Lita and Tori Wilson fan? Come on. Alright, next up we had 2002 with your Elimination Chamber match. First ever, of course, for the World Heavyweight title. With Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, RVD, and Shawn Michaels. And this one did not have an elimination match. Tag team, that is. But we did have a triple threat elimination tag team championship match, but that wasn't your traditional Survivor Series. We also had a six-man table match. We had the Cruiserweight title, Scott Steiner's debut in 2002, that is. Obviously, he was part of the Steiner brothers, but making his return. And then we have Brock Lesnar versus Big Show for the WWE Championship. Opening this one up, I was just watching this one, so the disc is not in there. You have your insert. You have your artwork there. And then your RVD poster. Pretty cool. Yeah, I have the disc. I was just watching it and going through these. I've been watching Survivor Series lately. And this is one I gravitate to a lot. A lot of people say it's the greatest Survivor Series of all time. Alright, Survivor Series 2003. This is probably my personal favorite Survivor Series out of all of them. You have Shane McMahon on the cover there. Your 2003 spine. And then we have Goldberg versus Triple H for the world title. You have your Buried Alive match with Undertaker and Vince. And then you have two Survivor Series matches. Stone Cold's team versus Bischoff's team. And then Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. You can pause it if you want to. You can see the entire list of superstars there. And then we had the Basham Brothers versus Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. And then you have your very cool insert, disc artwork, 2003 advertisements. Really cool to have those. Alright, next up we have 2004. Very bold artwork. I still think it's very creative and something that's very well done. A lot of people are iffy about it, but I think it's different. But there you have your spine. We have JBL versus Booker T for the WWE title. 2 4-on-4 Survivor Series matches, not 5-on-5. And then you have your Fatal 4-Way for the Cruiserweight title. Trish Stratus versus Lita for the women's title. Very nice disc artwork there. I like that. And then your insert. Very cool. Alright, 2005, the beginning of the end. This was the return of the Undertaker. Big return where Matt Hardy no-sold, got in trouble. And we have your spine. It's like a grayish purple. It's kind of hard to see, but it's really, really cool. Same with the back here. But we had Chris Benoit versus Booker T, Ric Flair versus Triple H, last man standing match. And then you had Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, which was 5-on-5 this time. And then special guest referee Daivari in the WWE title match with John Cena and Kurt Angle. And then they advertised the return of The Undertaker. Very, very cool artwork and insert. Next up we have 2006. And this cover always just never, I don't know, it's just never felt right to me. But it's only the cover. And this event itself just was never my favorite Survivor Series. Just never was. I'm very indifferent about this pay-per-view with No Mercy artwork on the background. So, there you go. This one had 3 traditional Survivor Series matches, one being Legends versus the Spirit Squad. And then we have King Booker versus Batista for the world title, Chris Benoit versus Chavo Guerrero. First blood match, Undertaker versus Mr. Kennedy, and then Lita and Mickie James. You have Candice Michelle offer there. Wonder what would happen if I texted that. Diva 109 to 22646. Probably nothing. And you actually get the main event of the 87 Survivor Series. The first ever Survivor Series. Because this was the 20th event. Alright, another one of my favorites. I actually have the tin for this one right here. Survivor Series 2007. You have Edge there with the chainsaw in the ring. I love this event. I really do. Some people might not, but I do. You had the triple threat match for the ECW title. You had your 5-on-4 traditional Survivor Series match. Matt Hardy was taken out. Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels. Fun match for the WWE title. And then the Hell in a Cell match with Batista and The Undertaker. The final TV14 Hell in a Cell match. So, very nice disc artwork. No insert. 2008 was half and half with inserts. Alright. 2007, I mean, not 2008. 2008, we have your spoiler cover with John Cena winning the world title against Chris Jericho in Boston. That's not predictable at all, is it? We also had the triple threat match, which actually wasn't a triple threat match until the end, with the snoozer match, Triple H versus Kozlov, Undertaker versus Big Show, casket match. As an extra, you actually get Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy in the Extreme Rules match, so that's really cool. And then 2 traditional elimination matches, and then 1 with the Divas as well. So 3 total. I actually like that artwork a lot better, but it is what it is. Alright, so no more inserts. We're out of the insert era. Survivor Series 2009, you have the DX PG run here. Not a fan of PG DX. I've been very vocal about that. But decent cover, I guess. I really like this Survivor Series event as well. You have 2 triple threat matches for the WWE and World Heavyweight titles, with John Cena and The Undertaker both defending. And then we have 3 traditional Survivor Series matches again, and then Rey Mysterio versus Batista. And like I said, anytime you can pause this. I'm just trying to get through all these pay-per-views. It's a lot to get through, and I don't want it to be like a half-hour video. WWE Magazine, you can get $5 off. There you go. And your disc artwork. Alright, next up we have Survivor Series 2010. I always thought this cover was a little awkward. John Cena looks really CGI'd there, photoshopped, I don't know. Photoshopped, I guess is the word for it. But you have Randy Orton and Wade Barrett there. This was during the Nexus. Love the Nexus. Dropped the ball on that one. Alright, but we have Kane versus Edge for the World Heavyweight title. Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett for the WWE title. A traditional Survivor Series match. Team Rey Mysterio versus Team Del Rio. You have the tag team titles, Intercontinental, United States. And then you have John Morrison versus Sheamus. Pretty packed card, but it wasn't the greatest event. But it's 2010, so what do you expect? Alright, Survivor Series 2011, Never Before, Never Again. This was billed as the 25th anniversary of Survivor Series at Madison Square Garden. Of course, you have the return of The Rock in the ring with John Cena versus The Miz and R-Truth. Del Rio versus CM Punk, beginning of CM Punk's historical reign. And then we have Mark Henry versus Big Show for the World Heavyweight title. And you do get a traditional Survivor Series match in there as well. Very cool disc artwork. I always really like that. Alright, next up we have 2012 Survivor Series. This is really known for the debut of the Shield. That's really all this is known for at this point. But we had Big Show versus Sheamus. Rematch from their Hell in a Cell world title match. Cesaro versus R-Truth. You have Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus the Primetime Players. And then Team Foley versus Team Ziggler. Mick Foley did not actually participate in the match itself, but we also had CM Punk versus John Cena versus Ryback for the WWE title. So, decent cover there. Alright, next up we had Survivor Series 2013. And this one, a lot of people could quite possibly say it's the worst of all time. I disagree. I think there's been worse, but yeah, not too many people like this one. Okay, so we had the 7-on-7 Total Divas versus Non-Total Divas traditional match. Big E Langston versus Curtis Axel. Mark Henry versus Ryback. 5-on-5. Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos versus and Rey Mysterio versus the Shield and the Real Americans. And then we had John Cena versus Del Rio for the world title. And then Randy Orton versus Big Show for the WWE Championship. The final time both those titles were defended on the same pay-per-view. So, and then he had CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Very nice disc artwork there. Alright, next up we have Survivor Series 2014. Of course, this is well known for Sting making his long-awaited first appearance in WWE. So, very nice artwork there. No match listing, but we of course had Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt there. And then you had Team Authority versus Team John Cena. And you do get a kickoff match. Justin Gabriel versus Fandango. Bad News Barrett's return to WWE. Not the most eventful event. Of course, this is really all known for Sting's appearance, interfering in the main event. I believe Dolph Ziggler pinned Seth Rollins. So, I'll show you the artwork quick. So, very cool artwork there. Alright, next up we have 2015. The 25 years of The Undertaker. Very cool entrance photo there. So, two main events. They were tournament matches. You had Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, and then Kevin Owens versus Del Rio. No, wait. No, it was the other way around. Because the final was Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. Yeah. So, no match listing, but we had the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family. And, of course, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns there. With Sheamus cashing in. So, You also did get 2 Survivor Series matches. One was on the pre-show. So, there's your disc artwork. Alright, next up, one of my favorite Survivor Series, once again, 2016. You have Lesnar versus Goldberg. Obviously, the 2K17 cover. That's really all this is. But you had your... This was the first Survivor Series after the second brand split. So you had Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Awesome match. Very well done. And then you had... Let's see... Yeah, no match listing at all whatsoever. That's wonderful. You get some extras there. Of course, you had your women's Survivor Series match. You had your tag team Survivor Series elimination match as well. And then Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. The big shocker. What was that, like a 90 seconds, somewhere around there? This is awesome. You get an Andre the Giant card. Very cool. And your 2 discs. And this was after it went to the 4-hour show, which segues into the newest release, 2017. You have Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles there, and then your men's elimination match, which was highly disappointing. But this was a very good pay-per-view other than that. We had Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. Fantastic match. And this was a SmackDown versus Raw pay-per-view, which did make it predictable and felt like a bragging rights, honestly. But you also had the Shield versus the New Day, the Bar versus the Usos, Baron Corbin and The Miz. You had your women's elimination match, and then Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss. So this comes with a Goldberg and a Becky Lynch Fathead and Goldberg card. And this is 2 discs as well. This one did have 3 pre-show matches included as well. So that's a lot of content, 5-hour runtime. So that about does it. That is the entire Survivor Series pay-per-view DVD collection. A lot to get through, but was well worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.